For 25 seasons, America watched the Roloff family build more than just a farm. They built a dream. We saw first steps, first dates, and the relentless grit of a family proving that big has nothing to do with height. But tonight, that dream looks more like a cautionary tale. The iconic 109-acre property, once the heart of TLC's Little People, Big World, has become a battlefield. A father's legacy versus a son's inheritance. A multi-million-dollar price tag versus a family discount that never came. As of March 2026, the white flag has been raised, but the scars remain. The big house sits empty. The twins have moved on, and a once inseparable family is communicating through podcast microphones and social media captions rather than across a dinner table. Tonight, we reveal the final fate of Roloff Farms. We'll look at the secret negotiations that failed, the shocking price drops that followed, and the one son who stayed behind to pick up the pieces while his brothers walked away. Is this the end of an era, or a cold, calculated business transaction that cost Matt Roloff his relationship with his children? The answer lies in the dirt of Hillsborough, and the truth is more heartbreaking than any scripted drama. To understand the weight of the current feud, we have to go back to 1990. When Matt and Amy Roloff purchased the original 34-acre plot, it was a fixer-upper. Over 3 decades, they expanded it into a 109-acre agritainment empire. It wasn't just a farm, it was a character in the show. The pirate ship, the western town, the pumpkin festival, these weren't just attractions. They were the childhood memories of the 4 Roloff children, twins Jeremy and Zach, daughter Molly, and the youngest Jacob. The narrative for years was clear. The farm would stay in the family. Matt spoke frequently about passing the torch. However, the 2016 divorce between Matt and Amy changed the legal landscape. Amy eventually sold her portion of the North Farm back to Matt, reportedly under the impression that he would facilitate a deal to keep it in the hands of their sons. But as the boys grew up and started families of their own, the Roloff dream hit a wall of cold, hard reality. What was once a playground became a high-stakes real estate asset. The stage was set for a confrontation that would pit Matt's business acumen against his children's expectations of a legacy inheritance. The mystery of who gets the farm has finally reached its conclusion, and it isn't the fairy tale fans expected. Here is the current status of the property as of early 2026. The failed public sale. After failing to reach a deal with his sons in 2022, Matt listed 16 acres, including the 5,300 square foot original farmhouse, for a staggering $4 million. The market pushed back. By 2025, the price was slashed to $2.89 million. Reports from March 2026 indicate Matt is once again preparing to list the property, seeking a third time's a charm outcome after previous attempts to find a buyer fell through. The short-term rental pivot. When the property didn't sell initially, Matt converted the iconic family home into a high-end short-term rental, Airbnb. Fans could stay in the very rooms where the show was filmed, but the move was seen by Amy and Zach as a betrayal of the home's sanctity. The stay-behind son, while Jeremy and Zach have moved to their own separate farms, the youngest son, Jacob Roloff, has quietly become the farm's primary steward. He and his wife Isabel live on the property, and Jacob is reportedly managing the day-to-day agricultural operations, including the massive pumpkin harvests. However, it has been confirmed that Jacob does not own the land. He is an employee and a tenant, with Matt retaining full ownership. From a legal and financial perspective, Matt Roloff's position is complex. According to land use experts in Oregon, the state has incredibly strict zoning laws regarding the splitting of agricultural land. Matt has publicly defended his decision, stating he couldn't cut the baby in half by giving small pieces to each child. The financial conflict. The family discount gap. Reports suggest Zach offered around $1.6 million for the portion he wanted. Matt, eyeing retirement and his future with fiancée Karen Chandler, held firm on a much higher valuation. The NDA and the show. The drama wasn't just personal, it was profitable. The farm feud fueled the ratings for the show's final seasons. However, the cost was the exit of Zach and Tori, who officially left the show in 2024, citing the toxic environment created by the farm negotiations. The American public remains deeply divided. On one side, Team Matt argues that he worked for 30 years to build this asset and shouldn't be forced to take a multi-million-dollar loss just because his children feel entitled. On the other, Team Zach/Jeremy believes Matt prioritized greed over the very family values the show was built upon. The healing process. In a rare moment of hope, Tori Roloff recently shared that she and Zach visited the farm for the first time in nearly 4 years. While they didn't go for a reunion with Matt, they went for closure, sitting in the field where they were married. The tragedy for everyday Americans watching is the relatability. This isn't just a reality TV plot. It's the story of thousands of American farming families struggling with succession. When the patriarch views the land as a retirement fund and the children view it as home, the result is often a silent farmhouse and a family that only sees each other at weddings and funerals. As we look toward the remainder of 2026, the Roloff legacy is fractured but evolving. Matt's exit plan. Matt is increasingly spending time in Arizona. His goal appears to be a total liquidation of the 16-acre tourist parcel while maintaining the remaining acreage for Jacob to manage. The new generation, Jeremy and Zach, are building their own Roloff Farms 2.0 on their own terms, completely independent of their father's control. The end of LPBW. With the primary cast scattered and the farm largely a rental property, the era of little people, big world as we knew it has effectively ended. The farm is no longer a family home. It is a business asset waiting for the highest bidder. The story of the Roloff farm is a reminder that even the strongest foundations can crumble when business replaces bonding. But what do you think? Did Matt make the right call by treating the farm as a business, or did he trade his family's future for a retirement check? Let's discuss in the comments below. Do you think Zach and Jeremy should have paid the full price, or was Matt being manipulative as Zach claimed? If you want more deep dive investigations into the real stories behind your favorite TV families, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. We're going deeper into these stories every week. The timeline of the farm's fate has taken several sharp turns that the TV cameras never captured. As of March 2026, the sold sign that fans have been waiting for still hasn't stayed up for long. The price-slashing strategy. After the initial $4 million listing in 2022 became a symbol of family greed, Matt Roloff attempted a strategic pivot. By April 2025, the 16-acre legacy parcel, which includes the original 5,300 square foot farmhouse, was relisted for $2,895,000. This wasn't just a discount. It was a surrender to a market that refused to pay a celebrity premium for a property burdened by so much public drama. The return of the conflicted son. In a stunning development reported just days ago in March 2026, Jeremy and Audrey Roloff have publicly admitted they are conflicted after Matt reportedly reached out once again to offer them the property. Despite having already purchased their own separate farm years ago, the pull of the original Red Barn remains a powerful emotional weight. Audrey shared with followers that the opportunity to choose it again feels like a divine test, though the scars from 2020, when Jeremy was reportedly pushed out of negotiations, have not fully healed. Perhaps the most significant breaking detail is not about the land, but the people on it. In July 2025, the woman many fans blamed for the family rift, Karen Chandler, officially ended her 8-year relationship and engagement with Matt Roloff. This split sent shockwaves through the community. Karen had been deeply involved in the farm's operations and the construction of Matt's new dream home on the property. According to insiders and Matt's own social media confirmations, the engagement was called off amid what sources describe as marriage fears and a desire for Karen to distance herself from the relentless public scrutiny and family infighting. The impact on the farm. With Karen out of the picture, Matt's vision for the farm as a shared retirement haven has evaporated. He is now reportedly spending more time in Arizona, leaving the day-to-day management of the Oregon property to the one person nobody expected to stay, while the twins, Zach and Jeremy, were the ones the public expected to take over. It is the youngest son, Jacob Roloff, who has emerged as the farm's true savior. The ownership trap. Legal documents and statements from Jacob's wife, Isabel, confirmed in late 2025 that Jacob does not own a single square inch of the farm. He and Isabel live in a small home on the property, having moved out of a fifth-wheel camper, and pay rent to Matt. Regenerative revolution. Jacob has transitioned the farm away from a reality TV set and toward a legitimate regenerative agriculture operation. In 2025, he reportedly produced over 60,000 pounds of pumpkins and various vegetables. He is the boots-on-the-ground laborer Matt can no longer be. However, this creates a precarious legal future. Jacob is investing his life's work into land he does not own. If Matt sells the 16-acre big house parcel to a third party or to Jeremy, Jacob's living situation and work environment could be upended overnight. As of February 2026, the narrative of the Great Roloff Feud is finally beginning to soften. In a viral Instagram update that garnered hundreds of thousands of likes, Tori Roloff shared photos of herself and Zach visiting the farm for the first time in nearly 4 years. The public reaction. The comments section of that post became a digital town square for fans who have followed this family for 2 decades. The prevailing theory among fans is that Karen's departure opened a door for reconciliation. Without the step-grandmother figure present, Zach and Tori felt comfortable bringing their children, Jackson, Lila, and Josiah, back to the land where their parents were married. Zach recently noted on his podcast, Raising Heights, that tensions are melting between the siblings. The farm, once a source of bitter division, is slowly being reclaimed as a site of memory rather than a site of war. The fate of the farm is intrinsically tied to the fate of the show. Matt Roloff has confirmed that as of 2025, he is no longer under a non-disclosure agreement, NDA, with TLC. He has publicly questioned who would even want to come back for a season 26, given that Karen, Zach, Tori, Jeremy, and Audrey have all walked away from the cameras. The Big Red Barn is no longer the production hub for a film crew. It is a storage space for Jacob's tractors. The western town is a backdrop for Airbnb guests. The final prediction. Matt will likely succeed in selling the 16-acre farmhouse parcel by late 2026, possibly to Jeremy and Audrey if they can reconcile the past. Matt will retreat to Arizona permanently, and the remaining 80-plus acres will remain in a land trust-style arrangement where Jacob continues to work the soil, forever a steward, but perhaps never an owner. This journey from a 34-acre fixer-upper to a 109-acre divided empire has taught us one thing: land can hold a family together, but the price of that land can rip it apart. I want to hear from you. Now that Karen is out of the picture and the twins are visiting the farm again, do you think Jeremy and Audrey should finally buy the big house and bring the family back together? Or is it too little, too late? Drop a comment below. I read every single one. If you appreciated this deep dive investigation into the real-world consequences of reality TV fame, make sure to like this video and subscribe. We're tracking the Roloffs' next moves closely, and you won't want to miss the final update on the sale. The timeline of the farm's fate has taken several sharp turns that the TV cameras never captured. As of March 2026, the sold sign that fans have been waiting for still hasn't stayed up for long. The price-slashing strategy. After the initial $4 million listing in 2022 became a symbol of family greed, Matt Roloff attempted a strategic pivot. By April 2025, the 16-acre legacy parcel, which includes the original 5,300 square foot farmhouse, was relisted for $2,895,000. This wasn't just a discount. It was a surrender to a market that refused to pay a celebrity premium for a property burdened by so much public drama. The return of the conflicted son. In a stunning development reported just days ago on March 2, 2026, Jeremy and Audrey Roloff have publicly admitted they are conflicted after Matt informed them he is preparing to list the farm for sale once again. Despite having already purchased their own separate farm years ago, the pull of the original Red Barn remains a powerful emotional weight. Audrey shared with followers that seeing their son Bode celebrate his birthday in the barn recently gave them a what-if moment, though the scars from previous failed negotiations have not fully healed. Perhaps the most significant breaking detail is not about the land, but the people on it. In July 2025, the woman many fans blamed for the family rift, Karen Chandler, officially ended her relationship and 8-year engagement with Matt Roloff. This split sent shockwaves through the community. Karen had been deeply involved in the farm's operations and the construction of Matt's new dream home on the property. According to Matt's own social media confirmations, the couple decided to part ways, with Matt stating that life's a continued journey, and this is the right step. The impact on the farm. With Karen out of the picture, Matt's vision for the farm as a shared retirement haven has shifted. He is now spending a significant amount of his time in Arizona, leaving the day-to-day management of the Oregon property to the one person nobody expected to stay, while the twins, Zach and Jeremy, were the ones the public expected to take over. It is the youngest son, Jacob Roloff, who has emerged as the farm's true savior. The ownership trap. Legal status updates from Jacob's wife, Isabel, confirmed in late 2025 that Jacob does not own the farm. He and Isabel live in a home on the property, having moved out of a fifth-wheel camper, and pay rent to Matt, who retains full ownership. Regenerative revolution. Jacob has transitioned the farm away from a reality TV set and toward a legitimate regenerative agriculture operation. In 2025, he reportedly produced over 60,000 pounds of pumpkins. He is the boots-on-the-ground laborer Matt can no longer be. However, this creates a precarious legal future. Jacob is investing his life's work into land he does not own. If Matt sells the 16-acre big house parcel to a third party or to Jeremy, Jacob's living situation and work environment could be upended. As of February 2026, the narrative of the Great Roloff Feud is finally beginning to soften. In a viral Instagram update on February 22, 2026, Tori Roloff shared photos of herself and Zach visiting the farm for the first time in nearly 4 years. The public reaction. The comments section became a digital town square. Many fans speculate that Karen's departure helped open a door for reconciliation. Tori described feeling so much joy sitting in the field where she and Zach were married in 2015, noting that while there has been so much hurt, she felt happy to finally visit and reminisce. Zach recently noted on his podcast, Raising Heights, that, between the siblings, things are melting. The farm, once a source of bitter division, is slowly being reclaimed as a site of memory. The fate of the farm is intrinsically tied to the fate of the show. With the primary cast scattered and the farm largely a rental property, the era of Little People, Big World has effectively reached a standstill. The Big Red Barn is no longer a production hub. It is a storage space for Jacob's tractors. The final prediction. Matt is actively looking to unload the 16-acre farmhouse parcel. If Jeremy and Audrey decide to take the leap in 2026, the farm could stay in the family. If not, the property will likely go to a third-party buyer, officially ending the Roloff family's 30-year reign over the big house. This journey from a 34-acre fixer-upper to a 109-acre divided empire has taught us that the price of land can sometimes be too high for a family to pay. I want to hear from you. Now that the twins are visiting the farm again and Matt is listing it once more, do you think Jeremy and Audrey should buy it and bring the family back together? Or should they let the past stay in the past? Drop a comment below. I read every single one. If you want more deep dive investigations into the real stories behind reality TV, make sure to like and subscribe. We're tracking the Roloffs' next moves closely. The fate of the big house and the 16-acre legacy parcel has taken a dramatic turn that no one saw coming. As of March 2, 2026, a new window of opportunity has opened that could either reunite the family or end their connection to the land forever. The $2.9 million deadline. After years of the property sitting in real estate limbo, shifting from a $4 million listing to a short-term Airbnb, Matt Roloff has officially informed his children that he is preparing to list the farm for sale once again. The current market valuation sits at $2,895,000, a significant drop from his initial legacy price tag. This isn't just a sale, it's an ultimatum. Matt is nearing his 65th birthday, and with his eyes set on a permanent retirement in the Arizona sun, he is looking for an exit strategy that finally unburdens him from the 109-acre responsibility. The Jeremy and Audrey conflict. Just days ago, Audrey Roloff took to social media to reveal a stunning development. She and Jeremy are conflicted. Despite having purchased their own $1.5 million farm in 2022 to move on from the heartbreak of failed negotiations, the door to the original family home has been nudged open. Sources close to the family suggest that with Matt's recent price reductions, a deal that was once impossible might now be on the table. However, the emotional cost of going back after building their own independent life is weighing heavily on the couple. The most significant shift in the farm's power dynamic happened behind the scenes in July 2025. In a move that stunned the fanbase, Karen Chandler and Matt Roloff officially ended their 8-year relationship and called off their engagement. For years, Karen was viewed by some as the gatekeeper of the farm, and her presence was a central point of contention in Matt's rift with his son Zach. With Karen now out of the picture, the emotional barrier that kept the Roloff children away from the property has significantly weakened. Insiders report that Matt is now navigating the farm's future alone, which has softened his stance on several family issues and opened a rare path for reconciliation. While the world watches the big house, the actual farming, the dirt, the sweat, and the grit, has fallen to the one son who swore he would never return to the spotlight, Jacob Roloff. The stewardship reality. As of March 2026, Jacob is the primary force keeping Roloff Farms operational. In 2025, he successfully managed a massive harvest, producing over 60,000 pounds of pumpkins. But here is the legal reality. Jacob owns nothing. He and his wife, Isabel, live in a home on the property as tenants, paying rent to Matt while working the land as full-time employees. Jacob has publicly stated that he will never have the money to buy the farm at its multi-million-dollar market value. He has dedicated his life to stewarding the soil, planting trees, and building greenhouses, all while knowing that a single real estate transaction could take it all away. He is the heartbeat of the farm, but he is legally a guest in his own childhood home. The digital world erupted in February 2026 when Tori Roloff shared a photo that many thought they would never see again. She and Zach were back on the farm. The public sentiment. This visit marked the first time in nearly 4 years that the couple had stepped foot on the property outside of a nephew's birthday party. Tori described the experience as one of joy and healing, sitting in the gazebo where they were married. On their podcast, Raising Heights, Zach recently admitted that things are melting between the siblings. The toxic cloud that hung over the farm for years appears to be dissipating, largely because the focus has shifted from who gets the money to how do we let the cousins grow up together. The next 6 months will define the Roloff legacy for the next 50 years. There are only 2 likely outcomes. The Jeremy and Audrey reconciliation. They buy the big house parcel, allowing the cousins to grow up in the woods their parents once roamed, while Matt retires to Arizona. The third-party sale. Matt sells to a developer or a private buyer. The gates of Roloff Farms close to the public, the western town is torn down, and the family's 30-year connection to the land is severed for a check. The era of the big world on TLC is over. The cameras have largely stopped rolling, and for the first time in 2 decades, the Roloffs are making decisions based on their hearts rather than a production schedule.